Today we're talking about how to become a business consultant to small business. My name is Tobey from Training Business Pros, and as someone who's helped a lot of small businesses over the last 15 to 20 years, I have some solid strategies on not only how to get into this business, but how to be successful at it. And these 10 strategies are really important. So you want to hear them all. Stick around to the end, because by the time you're done, you'll have a very clear understanding of how to become a business consultant for small business and how to make it work. Let's get started. Okay, so let's go through the 10 things one by one. Each of these strategies is something that I have a lot of experience with. So if you're thinking, I need more information on one of these strategies, just post a question below as I'm talking about it, and we'll be sure to get back to you on that. All right, let's start with number one. You need to know, who is my audience and what do they want? A lot of business consultants think, oh, I'm really smart at this particular area of business, and I'm just going to open my doors and people will flock to my doors for the information and advice that I have. Well, that's not actually the case. What you need to do instead is find out who you think your audience is and what do they actually want. Now, if what you do fits into that, then that's perfect. But a lot of times it doesn't, so maybe you're going to have to shift your focus a little bit and shift your offerings. But the reality is, most consultants, if you want to find viable businesses that you're going to help, you're going to need to have some type of marketing strategy, and that means you actually need to know who your target market is. Let's move on to number two. What do I do? In other words, I'm talking about you, of course. What do I do that's different than everybody else? So a lot of consultants think, oh, I need to be better than the consultant down the street, or I need to be better than this consultant in another city. But really what you need to do is stand out. Just be different. What is it that you offer and the way that you do it that stands out in the marketplace? Because a lot of companies, they don't really know what's better. They just know, well, I haven't heard that before. That's very different. So when I talk to my clients initially about digital marketing, it's very different than anything they've heard before, because of course, most companies don't have the level of experience that I do. I'm not saying that to impress you. I'm saying that to impress upon you that whatever you have, obviously you've got to have experience with it, but make it stand out. The way that you go about it must be different in the buyer's eyes, and that means the owner or the people in charge of that small business. Okay, number three, just like I said, experience comes first. You cannot become a business consultant without some experience. Have you run your own successful business? Have you worked for a business that was successful, and how many hats did you wear in that business? Because most jobs do not prepare you for marketing, sales, fulfillment, HR, fiscal responsibility, leadership skills, all of the things that you need to be a successful business consultant. So think about that for a second. Do you actually have enough experience to help a company? Because if you can't help them grow, in other words, that's really what they want. They want more clients, more revenue, and they want to grow their businesses. If you don't know how to do that, then you probably should stay out of the business consulting business. So experience comes first. Number four, when you run your business, you cannot give them information. Information will not solve their problems. Yeah, you can fill them up with all kinds of advice and opinions and even tell them how to do something, but they're not going to be able to do it. So what you need is step-by-step instruction, step-by-step processes, step-by-step formula that you're going to guide them through, because they don't need more information. They can find information online. What they need is somebody to guide them through the process. So what is the step-by-step solution that you actually provide? Is it a process that you've used before and you can absolutely 100% count on? Okay, so once you have those step-by-step solutions in place, then you'll need number five, which is world-class support. Yes, you can walk them through the solutions and they can start implementing, but they're going to need some help long-term. So keep your ears and eyes and email and phone open, because you're going to get called upon to help them when they fall. Because especially in my field, where it's very technically oriented digital marketing advice, I can absolutely be sure that even when I hand off like a very robust CRM situation to them, most employees are not able to deal with that. And so ongoing, they're going to need a lot of support. So build that into your business system and you'll do well. Okay, number 6. In addition to the step-by-step solutions and world-class support, you're also going to need some performance and mindset coaching. Now, a lot of business owners have never really had any personal development or personal growth courses. And I'm pretty sure that if you're getting into this business, you probably have some, and they're going to need a good dose of that because the risks that you're going to ask them to take require some performance and mindset coaching. Now, however you go about that is really up to you. Personally, I've got some rules associated with that, some universal laws that they need to learn, and they just need to change the way they look at things, and the things that they look at will start to change. But you have to have a business philosophy and a life philosophy as well, because when you're working very closely with these businesses and you're asking them to do certain things, they're going to be like, well, why should I do that? And you're going to need to help them through that from a performance and mindset coaching standpoint of view. Okay, number 7, when it comes to actually converting these clients into consulting clients for you, then you're going to need to be convincing and you're going to need to have some incentive. So that means that whatever sales training you have, there are ways to convince people to do things. And of course, a little bit of incentive goes a long way. For example, you could say, hey, I've got space in my portfolio right now. So instead of the usual $4,000 a month, it's going to be $3,500. Throw a piece of paper across the table and get them to sign it. That's some incentive. But at the same time, you have to be able to handle all their questions and absolutely be convincing. Try not to back down from your position, but also at the same time, be willing to work with them, willing to hear them out, hear their ideas about what they want to do and how they want to solve their problems. Okay, let's move on to number 8. And we only have 3 more. So this is number 8. If you're just starting out and you're really looking to get going in this business, one of the things you can think about is working based on results. Now, I don't recommend that you get into business with a startup who really doesn't know what they're doing. Go find yourself an established company where you absolutely are certain that the outcome you want to create is guaranteed in your mind. Of course, never guarantee results to a client because they're equally as responsible for their outcomes as you are. So you don't really know what's going to happen and if they're even going to hold up their end of the deal. But what I've found, at least in the early days, is that if I work with people of integrity and a business that's established, and they have enough trust and faith in me to do something, in order to get them converted into a client, initially what I might do is take all of my payment on results. If we create this amount of results, what is your return on that investment and how much of that investment will you give to me when we succeed? Now, again, you have to be very careful with this and pick your clients carefully because you don't want to do something for a client and then not get paid. Make sure it's contractual. You've got a wonderful, well-written, thorough contract at your disposal. That would be really good. But even then, it's only as good as the paper that it's printed on and the lawyers that you have in your back pocket to actually enforce that contract. But it is a good idea because a lot of companies will be like, well, you don't really have any experience. Can you show me 10 other clients that you've helped do this? I mean, I can do that now after several years, but if you're just starting out, you might not have that. So a little bit of incentive, work based on results, and that'll probably help you secure some initial clients. Okay, number 9, this is really important. Be a learn-it-all, not a know-it-all. You always want to be learning in this business. I talked a little bit earlier about marketing, sales, fulfillment, HR, finance, leadership, all of those things that you need to be successful in business. You're going to have to learn a lot of those things, especially if you've just come out of a company where you had one role and one responsibility. As a business owner and a business consultant, you have many hats and many responsibilities. So my suggestion is you continue to develop your personal and professional skills over time. That'll help you a lot. So be a learn-it-all, not a know-it-all. And finally, number 10, get really good at marketing and sales. Marketing, sales, those 2 things are important and essential to your long-term success because clients will come and go. How do you find new ones? How do you convert those discussions into clients, right? Because Marketing and sales are the lifeblood of any growing company. Now, if you are a marketing and sales consultant, that's great. That means you're like me, and that's what I help companies do. So what happens is they look at the way that I dealt with them and they want to learn those skills, especially for their sales teams. They want to learn how to get more incoming leads. And that's what you need. You need more incoming leads, and you need to convert those discussions into clients. So get good at marketing and sales, and you'll be able to grow and be a very successful business consultant for small businesses. I hope this was valuable to you. If you have questions about any of this you want to drill down, put them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you'd love to subscribe to the channel, I would love that too. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day.